Good. Well, hi everyone. My name is Katie Bradford Osborne. I'm from Roaring Artist Gallery. I am the curator and founder of Roaring Artist Gallery. We are a fully virtual art gallery that exclusively shows the art of women identifying artists. And we are here today for an artist talk. I'm so excited to see what these two ladies have to say. It is about their artwork in the Layers exhibition that we currently have going. If you have not seen it and you're here before December 31st, 2021, you want to go and see it. It's a really fantastic exhibition. I am so proud to have it in the gallery. But I'm going to go ahead and read the bios, and then I will pass it over to you, Carmen and Sarah. All right. Start with Carmen. Carmen Mardónez is a Chilean textile artist living in Los Angeles since 2017. Her artwork seeks to radically reimagine intimate spaces of memories, dreams, and discovery, exploring variations around traditional embroidery by combining oversized formats, textile sculpture, and the recovery of textile waste. Carmen studied history and arts in the Catholic University of Chile, a master's degree in community psychology at the University of Chile, and has training on art therapy and traditional knitting on horsehair. Her artwork has been exhibited in Brea Gallery and Sola Gallery, among others, and her practice has been supported by scholarships and grants from All She Makes, Repaint History, and Not Real Arts. Sarah Detweiler is a Philadelphia area-based visual artist translating her experiences as a mother into figurative and narrative paintings with hand embroidery. She has a BFA in visual communications from University of Delaware and a master's degree in art therapy from Pratt. Sarah has shown her work in solo and group exhibitions in galleries across the country and virtually. Most notably, her Hidden Mother series sold out in 2 exhibitions in Paradigm Gallery in Philadelphia. Sarah's work has been published in High Fructose, Create, Arted, Milked, and Uppercase magazines and featured on art blogs, including Colossal and The Jealous Curator. She has also been interviewed for multiple art podcasts, including the Jealous Curators podcast, Art for Your Ear. Sarah's art centers around themes of female identity, motherhood, fertility, and the rainbow as an archetype. She is currently working toward her next solo show with Paradigm Gallery in September 2022, while home full-time with her 6-year-old daughter and 6-month-old son. All right. I am so excited to hear what you have to say, Sarah and Carmen, so I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you for having us, Katie. This has been really special, actually. So Carmen and I wanted to do the talk together because I think that this is actually a kind of a beautiful thing that happened, because I'm pretty sure that, Katie, you invited each of us separately for the exhibition. I don't even know if you knew.
I had no idea that you knew each other.
It kind of seems like this kind of seems perfect, because I almost got teary-eyed listening to you read Carmen's bio, actually, because when we first started talking, she used to refer to herself as a baby in art. And like, I mean, listen to all of that she had, you know, it's just amazing. So, and I actually went back to, we actually met through Instagram, because we're on different coasts. And I think I had a show that up in LA. I was in a group show, and Carmen had, I guess, done a story or something on Instagram about it and tagged me. And that's kind of what started off what now I think we would both call a sisterhood between us. Yeah. So it's kind of great that we can do this talk together, and I like just see how everything's kind of come full circle. And we've very much been taking this journey together, I feel like. So Carmen, I don't want to speak for you, but
I'm crying.
I'm like, sisters are allowed to do that, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I was at this textile show that the Yellow's curator actually. And it was the first time that I saw Sarah's work like in person. And I was like, this is amazing. And of course, it sounds like a stalker, but I was like, oh my God, finally. Work is amazing. Hey, Sarah. And then we became friends, and we are been collaborating in the last couple of months. So it's been like, I don't know, an amazing experience the last couple of years.
Yeah. So I do have, so Carmen and I, just so you know, we both are not very formal type of people.
Yeah.
So, but I did put together visuals. So I will pull that up now. Okay, hold on. Okay. Is everybody seeing it okay?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, these both these pieces that I put on the title page is they're both not only in the show, but I feel, again, I don't want to speak for Carmen, but and so she can confirm or deny, but I feel like both these pieces are kind of pivotal pieces in our work, in each of our work. So we can get into that more later, but again, I told you a little bit about the story behind me and Carmen and how we met. So I'm just going to start off by getting into how I got to where I am with my art. So in case people don't know, I do my series, The Hidden Mother, which is all the pieces in this show, the Layers exhibition, are from that series. Actually have only been doing it for a couple years now. And the photographs that you see on the left are the Victorian photographs that were also titled Hidden Mother portraits. And it was a photographic trend that occurred when the long exposure photography required children to stay still for photos, and somehow they came to this as a solution, which I still laugh every time. I've talked about this so much now, and it still gets me. So when I first was aware of these photographs, I think my daughter was 3, so I definitely had some feelings about it, and what that meant for the mother. I do have to say though that, because I have done a lot of research on the hidden mother photographs, so they're not always the mother. So in some cases it might be a nanny or somebody. So in that case, yes, okay, it's not a family portrait, but in many cases it was the mother. And I just started thinking about the role of a mother and being invisible and all the things that you do as a mother that you're not seen, and kind of like the value of the role of the mother. And so that I actually didn't explore this in my art until probably a few years, 2 or 3 years after I first was aware of the photos. So on the right, you will see I was at my parents' house. We were photographing my daughter I actually don't think a lot of people know this story, but we were photographing my daughter so that I could Photoshop her into a photo with her cousins for my parents' Christmas card, because we were going to be away while they were taking the other photographs. So anyway, so my idea was to hold up this red blanket that my parents had, like almost like a green screen, so I could easily Photoshop her out. And I had been wanting to do, like, it was like a seed planted, the hidden mother thing. And I was like, you know what? you know, while we're here, I asked my dad if he would take some photos. So as you can see from the first photo, my daughter was not into it. And what's funny is that I think I always thought that I would explore the topic with my child, like the photographs, but the photo that you see right underneath where she's not on my lap, it was actually the first photo that my dad took just to get set up. And when I was looking to explore the thing, that spoke to me more. So that was the photo that I ended up using. And then I love telling this story because when I did start to pursue this series and I told my mom about it, and what it was, how they hid themselves under blankets or upholstery or whatever, she said, "Oh, you mean like your father and I did for your baby portrait?" So I have been looking at this portrait my whole life in my parents' room, and here I'm a twin, so that's me and my twin sister, and under that blanket is actually my parents. And so I was like, this is crazy. This is like, it was meant to be. And the crazy thing too is that it was actually my parents' idea to do that because the photographer was trying to figure out a way to prop us up. So anyway, a lot of funny connections. And so I will just go to the next slide and share a little bit, and then I'll hand it over. Carmen and I are going to be going kind of back and forth. Okay. So these three pieces are in the Layers exhibition, and Katie, I also saw that you curated them together, which I was happy about because they actually the middle piece, the circle one, which is Hidden Mother Nature, it actually was sold before my show, so it's that they've never actually shown together. So this is another reason like the virtual gallery is amazing, because now they actually get to show together like they were always meant to. But this is I'm showing these first because this was the kind of the next step. Oh, I just realized I didn't even address so this was my very first Hidden Mother, the one on the top right, the red one. And that was called Hidden Grieving Mother, and actually spoke about my miscarriages. So in that sense, the rainbow kind of represents what could have been. And a lot of my work has spoken about that topic, so in the past. Okay, sorry. So the first image is Hidden Healing Mother, and I used embroidery. The gold part is actually meant to mimic the kintsugi technique. I don't know if everybody knows it, but it's it's a Chinese tradition, I believe. Somebody correct me if, or is it Japanese?
I think it's Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay. The Japanese tradition with ceramics, where if something was broken, they would then mend it with gold. And it sent the message that things are more beautiful after they've been broken and put together. And then the middle piece I said is the Hidden Mother Nature, and then the one on the right is the Hidden Flooded Mother. And for these, because it was my initial response to the Victorian photographs, the all the textile patterns in the back, like toile and the floral motif, are I painted the pattern on, but they're all modeled after like Victorian kind of era fabrics, because I wanted to try to be authentic to that time period. And then the middle one and the one on the right have, and it's a little hard to see, I should have given more detailed shots, but they have the rainbows embroidered into the background because the rainbow became a symbol in a lot of my work. All right, that's enough about me for now. Carmen.
Yeah, after your introduction, now I'm like, oh wow. So I moved around 4 years ago to Los Angeles and to the States actually, because my partner was starting a PhD at UCLA. So we moved when our baby was 1 month old, and because we were like with student budget and everything, and because I didn't want to have my kid in the daycare like when he was super young, but I didn't want also to become like just a stay-at-home mom, because when I was in Chile without kids, I was working in public politics, and I really, really loved what I was doing. So I was kind of refusing to become in the States without networking, just a stay-at-home mom. So I decided a couple of months before flying to the States to become an artist. I was embroidering in Chile, but more just for a hobby. So I decided that I will become an artist once I established in Los Angeles. So for the last 4 years, I've been working and embroidering nonstop, creating art, becoming an artist. So that's why I say that I'm like a baby artist, because it's like a short art career, but maybe pretty intense. At the beginning, I love colors. For me, maybe it's because I can't paint well or draw well, or I don't like what I was drawing, but also because I really love colors, that I wanted to express how I was feeling far away from my family, from my friends. And so I decided to start like embroidering skyscapes, so I can like express my feelings through these skyscapes embroidering, because I don't know, some sunsets are pretty like happy, romantic, but there are some storm days or smoggy mornings that are like pretty like gray. So I was trying to express myself through colors. And at the beginning, I was like really literal. As you can see in the fire eye that I embroidery is a telescope Hubble picture that I like transfer basically to embroidery. And same with the other circle lemon bags. It was like kind of sunsets and skies in Los Angeles, the yellow, of course, in the middle of the summer, super hot. And the pink one, purple, is like a classic sunset in Los Angeles during, I don't know, probably the whole year. So at the beginning, I was really literal. My baby was a couple of months, so it was pretty easy to work with him. But as he was growing, it was more complicated to be embroidering with him, because of course he started like pulling the threads. So make a piece like the Fomol B, it was like much more complicated. I had to work like at night for that, but I really like to embroidery with him around. So then is when I start like getting like more freestyle in my work, like yeah, like that. Actually, this is the first like big scale piece that I made at the end of the 2019. Same as the other ones, what I did is I picked one, a sky, a picture that I really like the colors. And then I started embroidering, and because one was bigger and he was like more like playing with my work, and I also was feeling more confident about my practice, I started like embroidering in big shape. And as you can see, he was always around pulling my threads, but because it was like super free, it is like super freestyle, like long stitches. It really doesn't happen if he pull a thread that I already like embroidered on the canvas. Because at the beginning I was also like pretty insecure about what I was doing. I decided to do the first big piece in a sheet, so I don't have to buy a fabric for that, because I didn't know what would be happen. So this one was pretty like explorative piece, but after I fall in love with this piece, I decided to like keep growing with my embroideries, getting more big and more freestyle, but also like keep the idea of bed sheets and pillows in my work. At the beginning was just like a thing that happens, but COVID-19 started like a couple of months after this piece. So when I was at home, same as you, like don't be able to go anywhere, it makes so much sense to me to start working in domestic fabric and pillows that I was like at the beginning. I had some ones that I was not using, and then I started like asking to my neighbors if when they were like ready to throw to the dumpster their textiles, to please donate to me. So that's how my current work started a couple of years ago.
The next slide, Carmen is doesn't know either, but this one, this slide is actually this next one, it kind of shows, it's a good seg. This piece, the large rainbow sheet piece, that is a good segue piece to kind of show how Carmen and I were talking about how much we've influenced each other in our work.
Yeah.
And when I started using other mothers besides doing self-portraits in my Hidden Mother series, I asked Carmen, well, actually, first, did you take the photo first and then send it to me? Yeah, that's what it was.
I sent the first picture, not with, I mean, with a purple sheet that I did, but
yeah, a different one. It was when Carmen, I adore all of Carmen's process images of her working where she works, wherever she goes, sitting on the toilet during her son's bath time, or on the floor. It's like, I just love it. So she actually sent me an image of her, and she was, working with her son there, but she threw the sheet over her and sent me just like, hey, Hidden Mother. And that sparked me wanting to do a collaboration with her. And I actually chose the one, so the image on the top left is that rainbow sheet, which I requested that she pose with that one. And that piece actually didn't get made because it was supposed to be for another show concept that hasn't happened yet. But when I was preparing my last show at Paradigm, I asked Carmen if she would also model for me. She's the best. She sends me reference photos all the time. So this one is from my last collection. So that's Carmen. And I wanted to do something because she's just surrounded with houseplants all the time. Like that's just, or I love how she always has her bath filled with her houseplants when she's watering them, or so. And Carmen and I are also very similar in our artist mother styles, in that we put art before housework and traditional domestic duties. And we like to incorporate our children in the, you know, like it's very much combined during the day, because I think both of us might go crazy if we went the whole day without working on art at all.
Oh yeah.
So, and then I titled this piece, well, I'm gonna have Carmen say the.
Oh no, wait, I forgot.
The English translation is better to be a house plant than a housewife.
Yeah.
But and Carmen translated that for me because I wanted it to be in Spanish, but you have to go to my website to see the title. I'm forgetting now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to show that as a segue too.
Yeah, I think that for me, I mean, I'm always surrounded by my art and my kid around, and I really love that. But my pieces were always like hanging in walls. And when I saw Sarah's work, and when I was like talking more with her and understanding what she was doing, it makes so much sense to me to cover with my art, because for me, being an artist is the way that it keeps me sane when I'm like, you know, like by myself, raising a kid, like student budget, whatever. So art for me is like kind of my lifesaver, and it's like a really, it's super part of my daily routine and my whole body. So I cover with my embroidery the first time, sending, because I wanted to show Sarah how cool it looks. But after that is when I start working with more like three-dimensional work, and wishing for shows that I can like make like an immersing experience for the visitors. So my imaginary topography is the sculpture that Sarah showed at the beginning, and all the other pieces are like my exploration about the feelings that I get about my work, but like replying to Sarah's work. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, which is very cool. And I also felt that Carmen, as a hidden mother, being hidden by her work, is kind of embodies everything that my series is about, and how it's the reason that the mothers are you know concealed in my series is because I want to highlight the other parts, the other roles of that person other than being a mother. So it just makes sense that Carmen's covered in her art. And I still am going to do that painting. Just one of these days. These are my neon rainbow hidden mothers, I call them. So like I said earlier, the first one, which is a self-portrait, it kind of was a turning point in my series, where I kind of got away from doing the traditional Victorian, you know, fabric patterns and textiles. And I've had a thing for rainbows in my art, and I knew some reason behind it. The rainbow used to, in my previous art before the Hidden Mothers series, it used to symbolize a lot to do with fertility. My daughter I had after a miscarriage, so she was my rainbow child, which is a term I don't know if people know, but and then I actually explored, many years of miscarriages before I had my son through art, not this series, but the one before that. And I was using the rainbow as a symbol. And I've said before, I'm not really a rainbowy kind of person. Actually, all my art before motherhood was very monochromatic and darker, and then all this color showed up after I became a mother, actually, in my art. So sometimes something shows up in my art and I don't necessarily know the meaning behind it, but I'll just go with it because I have that drive, and then I always like to explore and process. It's probably, so Carmen and I both have backgrounds in art therapy, so sometimes I think that's like the art therapist in me sometimes, that it's fun to go back and then process your own artwork. And so I did the image that you see, my reference photo that I took was when I had this idea, but I actually have a whole bunch of photos before that one where I had always intended on holding the rainbow, my neon rainbow light, actually like my first Hidden Mother piece, like right in front of the, in front of this area. And then I just kind of was trying out all these different things. And I took the light and just for one shot and held it over my head. And that was the one that actually spoke to me. And then I actually started exploring what that might mean after I decided to do the painting. And I actually discovered a book called The Rainbow Way, written by Lucy H. Pierce. And in it, they discuss the different archetypes of mothers. And one of them was the creative rainbow mother. And I had this like crazy aha moment when I read the description, because it talked about the kind of mother that I am, which is, kind of like dishes don't get done, and you don't always have, the house is in imperfect shape, but creative things are getting done, and that's what you're modeling to your children. And it just felt really good to hear a description that made me feel like, oh, okay, like I'm not a bad mom. I can love my art too. So then the creative rainbow mother, and then I realized looking back, I'm like, because this was such a spontaneous photo shoot, maybe normally I would have hung it on the wall and then stood under it, but I had to hold it up on my head and it became this crown. And then what was cool about that is that because I had to hold it up, it was like I was honoring the creative mother in myself, and that I was the one that had to do it, So I think that's why this piece in particular has always been pretty powerful for me. And I love doing embroidered neon signs, as you can see. So I visited it again in my next collection, and that was with another, when I used other mothers and and told their stories. So that was somebody that I used to work with, Trudy Gale, and who's a psychologist, and I gave her a neon crown as well, because she is also very creative and doing things, and she does honor that part in herself as well as being a mother. So. Oh, it's still me. Sorry, I forgot I was doing 2 and 2. These other 2, and these are all pieces that are in the layers exhibition. These are also other mothers. So this first one with all the colors and the paint daubs. Oh, and that's another thing I have to say is also, Katie, I appreciated you seeing my work fitting into the layers exhibit, because I'm always thinking about that. And it's like, it may not be as obvious to people. Actually, a lot of people don't even know that I have embroidery in my work until they see it in person. But I'm always thinking about the surface and different levels and playing with texture and how I can make things live on different planes, even on a 2-dimensional surface. So, so that's like the paint daubs are actually like, I took paint and then peeled it and adhered it to that. And then that piece right there was called Liminal Space. And it's of an artist in Canada. She's American, but she's in Canada now. Catherine Duplo, who anybody who follows Artist Mother things probably knows her work. She does amazing work about motherhood. And so I had asked her to model for me. And so this is telling her story, and she's actually done previous work. That's why I used the paint daubs in the background. And this was also the first time that I used punch needle embroidery rather than hand embroidery. And then the one on the right is Danielle Crissa, also known as the Gels curator. And I got to tell her story about her hysterectomy, which she's open about, so I'm not sharing anything personal. And kind of her experience with that, and what that meant to her identity as a mother. And it was just such a treat and such a gift and an honor to get to tell other people's stories. So, and then there's just a photo of me and my daughter with a bunch of the work when I was pregnant with my son. Oh, I also want to say that the day that my last Hidden Mothers show closed was the day that my son was born. So I was joking that I was the show was closing and my womb was closing. Okay, back to you, Carmen.
Wait, give me a second. Sorry, okay. I'm at my sister's place. Yeah, so here is Magdalena, one of my pillows that are at the layer show. It was last year I had a 2-person show at Sola Gallery in Los Angeles. So I installed all my pillows that I made during the lockdown in a wall. So yeah, there you can see like different like explorations about the with pillows. As I said before, like at the beginning, I was just exploring with domestic textiles. So the first one was a nose pillow that we have at home, but after that, I start asking my friends and neighbors about that. And especially this one, I really like it. It's kind of different as the other ones because I sew some beads on it. So if you get like closer to the piece, you can see like a pink and like yellow and white beads. So I made this piece after I was talking with a really close friend in Chile who was like having a super rush time. And it made me realize that I was, before that, I was just embroidering pillows like in super beautiful colors, again, like sunset colors. But the pillows in our life are more than just for happy moments, like not just for dreams and I don't know, make love or whatever. They're also a place where we cry a lot, like when we feel like isolated or I don't know, frustrated or sad. I think that pillows are like a place where we like, I don't know, throw out our emotions or feelings. So I made this piece having that feelings on mine. So for me, the beads are kind of the tears, and then with threads, I give the pillow the idea of, so like a person who is like stretching the pillow, and you are like with the pillow in your like in your face, like laying in the bed crying. So that was the emotions that I have on mine. And usually I name my pillows with the name of the person who donated me the pillow. So the pillows had my neighbors' names, but in this case, because it was a tears pillow, I named it Magdalena because, you know, like the woman who was like close to Jesus, like in his life. And is, I mean, like, at least in Spanish, when a person is like crying a lot, we call them like Magdalena. He's crying like as a Magdalena. So that's why I named this piece with that title. I don't know, Sarah, what is next?
No, I love that. I actually did it. I never knew that about that piece before. So see, I'm learning things.
Great. And yeah, the other is me and my studio assistant in the show.
I love the way that exhibition looked too, with all the pillows up.
Yeah.
Still you, Carmen.
Yeah. So during the lockdown, I embroidered, as the slide before, a lot of pillows, like around more than 20 actually, but it was really painful. So my fingers were suffering a lot. And because it depends of like what is inside the pillow, how easy or hard is to embroidery on the pillow. Even if I really liked my pillows, it made me realize that I was like losing my embroidery style in the pillows because I was not able to be as free as I want because the stuff. So during 2021, I started exploring with the same materials, again, pillows and sheets, but creating the pieces like kind of with layers. So at the beginning, I embroidered the sheets. So you can see in the two, the red one and the blue one, I embroidered first. These are like pillowcase. So I embroidered on them. Then I gave to the pillows the shape that I wanted, but it's not really like that because I can't really control the pillow. So I was like stretching them and then like hand sewing the pillows and giving them some shape. And for these two sculptures, I use like 2 or 3 pillows per piece. So I stretch the pillows, sew the pillows, and then do the same with the other 2 pillows. And then I I saw the 3 pillows together, so it looks like a pillow sculpture, who I also really like, but it was white, and I love color. So yeah, then I start like upholstering the embroidery on this pillow sculpture. It's also really painful. Actually, no less, probably more than with my before series, but I can like keep my embroidery style. That for me is really, really important, because I really enjoy doing that. And the third one, and in the right, is part of my probably current work. It's a pillow upholstered with embroidery freestyle. This piece is, you almost can't see the sheet. It's covered probably 900% with embroidery. And I was exploring the possibility to make like hanging sculptures. Because again, I'm being like dreaming about the idea of kind of surround people with my work. So in my experience with 3-dimensional work, like, well, with not dimensional too, but like people really want to get close to see like what is she what are they missing in the piece, like get closer, as seen like in between the curves. So in the hanging ones, this was one of the first one, and it's just I'm exploring the possibilities about size. So I'm hoping during the 2022, I'm gonna be able to do like big scale hanging sculptures. So kind of inviting people to get into my art and kind of hugging them with my pieces. Sarah. Oh, so that's me again. After exploring with the small ones that I just talked about, I decided to do a bigger one. I was embroidering first, of course, the sheet. It's bigger than my living room wall, so it was kind of a lot of work. And at the beginning, I didn't have the idea of a sculpture. It was just a plain work, but I didn't really like it. It was like, I don't know, I work a lot with my gut. Like my pieces are done when I fell in love. So in this case, I didn't really like the embroidery, but I was at some point that even I was spending like, I don't know, weeks and weeks in the pieces. I was like, no, this is not working. And so for another reason, I made like this big pillows sculpture. And it looks great, but it was white, and I was at home exploring and pushing, I don't know, pushing my boundaries forward. So I decided to upholster this huge embroidery on my pillows sculptures. And it become the piece that you are like seeing. It's a like, I don't know, like it's a piece like for one side, actually the one that you are seeing in the picture is like full of embroidery. But for the other side, you can see like how the sheet is hugging the pillows. You can also like, if you can see in the left side of the sculpture, you can see a little bit of the pillows too. So I really like it because it kind of, the people can get an idea of how this piece was built, and I don't know, I really like to like surprise maybe people, like, oh, this is just pillows, like there's no more structure behind. And of course the idea of upcycling and everything makes a lot of sense to me. So yeah,
I love it.
This is sculpture.
Next level for you, I think.
Yeah. Oh.
So this I put in there. These are, we are collectors of each other's work. And the pillow is obviously a piece of Carmen's that I now own, proudly display. And the painting is actually for that show that I said it didn't work out because of when my son decided to show up early. So, but this was actually a piece I was working on for it. And Carmen, once again, graciously sent me reference photos, and she actually owns that jacket, which I love. So that's Carmen, and I finished it and gave it to her. We did a trade, which is
we are both.
We
did it for birthday.
Yes. So I just wanted to show that. And then this is just
us.
Doing what we do.
Yes.
It was funny because I was finding images, and Carmen has so many amazing process images of her, like, you know, scaling walls and with her son on her lap, or you know, like on the toilet, and it's like, oh, I'm just sitting at an easel, but
yeah, but pink is a color now. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is it.
All right. Do we have any questions?
That was amazing. Thank you guys so much. I had a quick question for Carmen, actually, on that last point. Who does take all your wonderful pictures of you at work?
Oh, myself. Usually.
You do yourself? Wow.
Yes. Especially when the ones that are in this slide, just the one in the right top. My sister took it, but I took the other ones. Yeah, I'm always trying to like take a lot of pictures with like my I forgot the name, like the tripod.
Yeah.
And the timer. So
wow.
Yeah, I mean, like 4 years ago, like I didn't have anyone in the States like know me, and of course not in the art world. So I start like taking pictures, showing a lot like on my Instagram. And it was the place that I met Sarah, and you're honestly like the place that I'm feeling comfortable showing my art and I don't know, my process. So yeah, myself.
That's so cool. I think that
Thank
just adds
you.
so much too, to like the like invisibility of motherhood and being an artist at the same time, but then also just kind of really showing up for yourself and your work. That's awesome. That's really
There's
fun.
some real art to self-portraiture also.
Yeah, totally.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and well, as I was talking before, like I really want to do like immersive experience. So taking the two pictures in the right side for me is really important, because I can like see in pictures what I have in my mind, like what I have to build. I don't know how long it's gonna take it, and of course I have to find a gallery who wants this kind of work. But yeah,
I always say that talking to Carmen is almost like getting a hug. My experience, which is funny too, because our relationship actually started where we actually started having video chats and talking on the phone and whatnot, happened during quarantine.
Yeah.
And that's like the thing that I personally missed the most was hugs. So like being able to talk to somebody, and so I guess what I'm saying is that the idea of you doing a show that's more immersive, that we would have the opportunity to actually get to hug ourselves with your art, maybe would be pretty amazing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
is how I feel with my work, you know, like a safe place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Yayoi Kusama is already my inspiration.
Nice.
Oh, that is exciting. I love that.
Yeah, maybe that's too much, but you never know.
No, it's never too much. I think, well, I was talking to Sarah before the talk, whenever we were waiting for everyone, about like the point that I feel like artists reach where it's like a confidence level. You understand your work, you understand what you want to say, and you're putting it forth. I think like you consider yourself still a young artist, and as far as time period maybe, but as far as confidence and knowing what you want to say, you understand your work really well. And I think that the way that you're imagining evolving it into almost like an experience is and thinking of it as an experience already, I think is really brilliant and really exciting. So
Thank you.
I hope you don't ever limit yourself with, I hope you just keep going in that direction and
That's
really
the plan.
do it.
Yeah, Sarah, there is like such an amazing, I don't know, like support. Like she's always like, do it. So it's like a bad influence, but also
Well, Carmen does that for me as well. Sorry, somebody's home. Yeah, Carmen does that for me as well. It's like she's my go-to for whenever I'm having doubts in my process. I just get my pep talk from Carmen. And
it is so wonderful to have that in your life. That's why a community is so important for us as artists, because we can really make ourselves into these own little islands, and we're so in our head with our work all the time. And I think that's just wonderful that you have that relationship. And I have to say, as a curator, this has been the most exciting talk to me. The way because whenever I first imagined you both in this show, I had no idea you even knew each other. And it's so exciting seeing how your work speaks to each other within the exhibition, but seeing it here too, and how you see it speaking to each other was just really cool to me. As soon as you put up that first slide with the work that you felt like was a turning point, I'm like, that is one of the first things you see when you walk into the layers exhibition.
Yeah, I know. And I actually, that was the other cool thing, is that the way that you curated our work together. Yeah. And it's like kind of like you knew. I don't know. It spoke to you in the right way.
That
I guess
means that I'm doing my job. But I have to say, this particular show has really been it's really been an emotional one for me, I think, as a curator. And it's been so wonderful getting to hear more about what you're both doing. I thank you so much for coming and speaking with us.
Thank you for having us.
Hearing more. Yes. Well, it's been a couple hours, so I'm not going to hold up everybody for too much longer, but do you have anything else that you want to share?
No, thank you for being a safe space where at the end of an artist talk, I can nurse my
I love it. And I wish that we had it at every end of artist talk. I think it's one of the most wonderful things about the platform that we're being able to develop, and the gallery and community that we're developing. Katie said thank you, and Erin said thank you. So nice to meet you both.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely wonderful. Well, I want to thank you both again for being here. I want to thank everyone who's come to support these artists and support our gallery, and to support this platform that we're building, and everyone who's going to be watching afterwards. And so, well, thank you all from the bottom of my heart. This has been a wonderful experience, and I thank you so much for being part of it. And we will see you next time.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.